God delivered me from lust 3 times before I actually got truly set free. And honestly, still to this day, I am surprised how much patience that God has for me. Because there's times where I was begging him, like, God, take away this desire, give me the strength to overcome it. And I would end up going right back like 6 months later. But during this whole journey, I learned a whole bunch. And I feel like that's why God gave me so much grace. Well, it's because his grace is just unlimited. But I did learn a lot, and God gave me the opportunity to be able to share my testimony with other people as well. So in this video, I will be playing some Fortnite in the background. I have some Fortnite gameplay. This is going to be a little series. Make sure you leave a like so I know that you actually enjoy this type of content. And during the series, I'll be sharing my testimonies or just stories or just helping you with your journey while trying to beat a game in the background. Now, it's not going to always be Fortnite. Fortnite was just the first game because this is what I used to play. Let me know down in the comments what you want me to play and I'll play that next. So, but without further ado, let me get straight into the video on how I overcame lust at 17 and how God delivered me 3 times before I was truly set free. Hope this is encouraging. And also, if you are struggling with lust, I hope this video helps you as well. So it all started when I was about 12 years old, and I was always a pretty good kid. Went to school, I didn't get in trouble, I had A's and B's, I had a good GPA. There's nothing I was really doing that was a crazy sin except cussing. But there was one day I was chilling with a couple of my classmates. I won't even call them friends. They were more like acquaintances. I just hang out with them at lunch and during class. I talk to them sometimes. But I heard them talking about a conversation about pornography. Now, I never watched pornography. I never did any of that before this time. But just like Eve got curious about the fruit, I got curious to start watching pornography. And sure enough, I let the curiosity get the best. Because as soon as I got home, it was actually later that night, I just went on the website, went into my bathroom and then went on the website. And I kid you not, that was one of the worst decisions of my life because it literally took a toll for me years after. But while I was watching it, it just felt so convicting. I was so terrified. I literally told myself I wasn't doing it anymore after that, but you know how humans are. So after that night, yes, I was kind of scared to do it, but because I didn't get caught, because there's no consequences, I just continued to do it. Hold up now, let me log in right quick. So I knew I grew up Christian, but I wasn't really living fully. I didn't even know what I was doing was a sin. So I grew up in the church, but I wasn't really listening too much. I knew a couple stories from the children's Bible because I grew up reading the children's Bible, but there's no you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. It was just stories of people messing up. So what I was doing, I didn't even know I was sinning. And so that's how the devil got me. And I was trapped for another 3 years before I actually even wanted to stop. Just ignore what just happened, please. So yeah, after those 3 years after I wanted to stop, it was literally I couldn't. Because I had been doing it for so long with no conviction. Even when I wanted to stop, I couldn't. Because honestly, it was my flesh. I didn't know at the time, but it was my flesh was literally battling to keep me in bondage to this lust. And part of the reason I wanted to stop was because I started to gain more knowledge and know that it was actually a sin. And so I started getting convicted, but I still like doing it. And so the first thing I actually did to try to get rid of lust was not run to the Bible. I actually ran to spiritual practices because I ran into this big YouTuber named Soul Illuminati. And he said he was going on semen retention, sun gazing and different stuff. So I was like, I might as well do the same thing. So I started sun gazing, getting out in nature a lot, just walking and looking at the sun, basically meditating at the sun. I want to say I was doing witchcraft because I wasn't doing sage and different stuff. I was just out in nature, kind of worshiping the creation. But the main reason I wanted to do that is to see spiritual things because I didn't at the time, I wasn't going to believe in anything until I seen something with my own eyes. I was like, I can't believe in no spiritual practices until I see an encounter for myself. Because people say they have encounters all the time. It's I want to have my own so I know that what y'all are saying is actually true. And so that led me to do spiritual practices for a while. But after 6 months, yes, I stopped watching pornography and stuff. But it was literally just, it seemed like my own discipline. And I wasn't getting the encounter that I wanted. I'm not gonna lie, these people are sweats, yo. Not gonna lie, I'm not landing tilted no more. So yeah, I didn't get the spiritual encounter I wanted. So yeah, I stopped doing that for a while. But crazy enough, after I stopped doing that, I started falling back into pornography. It's because I started literally allowing those bad habits back. Bad habits of scrolling, the bad habits of, watching Netflix. And because I didn't have God on my mind, even though it wasn't the true God, I started falling back into the fleshly things. And honestly, I stopped even trying to let go of that sin for a while. Until like it was maybe a year later, I started getting convicted again. And this is when God really showed up in my life, and I knew he was the true God, because I started kind of getting back into my word due to, like, you know, scrolling on TikTok and seeing Christian videos. And it's like I never let go of my faith because, you know, my whole household is Christian. I just started to dibble and dabble in like a couple other spiritual practices. But when I got led back to Christ and started reading the word again, there's this night I just was real with God, and I said, Lord, I don't want to do this anymore. Take away this desire, because I don't want to do it. And I kid you not, I literally tried going back, but I couldn't. I went on the website and everything, and when I did it, I felt so disgusted that same night. And that's how I know God answers prayers, because I remember these things. I'm like, no, science can't prove this. This is real. Like, I'm talking to God and he answered my prayers. Like, he took away the desire, because I wanted to do it, but it was like God wouldn't let me. And so that really made me excited, and it increased my faith to a whole nother level. And for a month, like, it was like a couple months actually, I started actually doing really good. It was like for 6 months, I was reading the word and wasn't lusting or anything. So yeah, that was like the first time that God delivered me. And I would say the first time I even had an encounter with God. But as you know, my story doesn't end there, because I said he delivered me 3 times. And that's because after the 3rd month, it was like 3rd or 4th month, or maybe a little bit longer, I don't know the exact time, but I started feeding my flesh again. Now, obviously at that time, I wasn't that sanctified. Like, I wasn't reading my word like that. I wasn't reading it crazy. And so I would say I had a kind of relationship with him, but I wasn't sanctified at all. I was still cussing, listening to secular music and different stuff like that. And so later on, I was like watching a lot of, especially like sexual shows on like Netflix. I didn't know what an open door was at the time. And then I started getting tempted. Hold on. I can't lose this fight. Okay. Bro, no way I missed twice. Bro, there's no way I should have. Bro, and then he's dancing, bro. Okay, bro. I really don't like when people do this, bro. Like, why are you taunting me? I literally just missed. I promise you 1v1, and I want to lose him. I just missed a couple shots. I'm a little rusty, but it's all good. I don't even know why he dancing. There's another person finna come. You better not win this fight. You better not lose this fight. Don't sell me, bro. Yes, sir. Turn on him. Yes, sir. Yeah. My fault. Let me lock back in. So as I was saying, I was getting very, very tempted. Like, I wanted to watch pornography so badly. And it's because I was feeding my flesh. At the time, No Nut November was a thing. I remember this vividly. Because honestly, I was literally just trying to last to the end of the month, because I had went so long without it. But honestly, I knew I was going to give in sooner or later. And so I literally was like, oh, it's the end of November. Let me just wait until like the end. And so I lasted for like 6 days, but I was getting tempted all 6 days. Like, to this day, I really don't know how I lasted that long. Like, I was patient. Part of it was because I wanted to last No Nut November, and obviously another reason was I didn't want to get rid of, like, I wanted to keep the streak going. But as soon as No Nut November ended, you know, December came, like, I just gave in. Like, I knew it. And obviously I was sad about it. I was like, sorry God, like, forgive me. Like, I felt shameful. But I had learned that I already knew what the open door was. Like, I can't be watching these shows. Like, they tempt me too bad. But obviously when I gave in, it's just like, it's not just a one night thing. Like, once you give in after a while, it's like you keep on going back. And that's what I did until like another like 3 months. Like, it's like a pattern of like doing it for a while and then stopping for a while and then doing it for a while and then stopping for a while. That's like my whole journey. It was like a couple months later when God actually spoke to me. And it was a night where I was working at Lane's, because that was my job at the time. And it was closing, so nobody was really there. It was like the last like 30 minutes of it opening. And then there's just this one person, bro. This seems like a movie scene, bro, to this day. Because I had the headphones on, and you get like a little ding every time someone comes. And they're supposed to like place their order, but this person didn't even place their order. They just went past the thing to speak their order, or to say their order, the speaker. And then they came straight to the window. And at that time, I was working the window and the speaker. Now, if you ask anyone that, yo, there's no way I just hit this man like 3 times and he hits me once and I die, nah, bro, that's crazy. We're gonna take a little break from that, because obviously I'm not doing good anyway. But yeah, she asked if I know Jesus, and I obviously said yes. Like, growing up Christian, you think you know Jesus just because you heard about him in the church. And she seemed kind of like nervous when she was saying this, but I kid you not, she said, Jesus told me to tell you that you need to stay away from lust, because that's going to keep you away from your calling. I want to say those were the exact words, but there was something along the lines of that. And after that moment, I was literally shaking. Literally, my friend said, like, what's up? What was wrong? And I had to just play it off, and I was like, oh, she just told me something about God. And it tripped me out so much because even before then, I felt like God was speaking to me through like TikToks, because they were like, oh, you need to stay away from lust. You need to stay away from this. And the fact that she said lust will keep me away from my calling, bro, that left me thinking the whole entire night. But even after then, I still continued to give in to lust for a little while, because I don't know, I felt like I was kind of stubborn in a moment. And I still kind of had doubts. You would be surprised. And so later on, I had asked God, like, if you are real, take away this desire, because I don't want to lust anymore. And of course, the second time he did it once again. Like, I did not have a desire to lust anymore. Like, he took away the desire simply off just one prayer. Now, obviously, I learned from my mistake last time. Well, kind of. Because yes, I lasted like another 6 months again. But there's like a word that I didn't know. And someone said it was inappropriate. And I looked up that word, and it showed a lot of like, inappropriate stuff. I don't remember what the word is, so you're not gonna know. But I looked it up, and somehow I ended up on pornography again, the website. Now, I didn't do nothing with it. I just thought I was strong enough to just look at it and just feel like not feel anything. And at that moment, I really didn't. Like, I went on the website and I was like, dang, I really used to be in bondage to this. I really used to watch this, feeling like I was all strong, and I kind of got cocky. And so, yeah, I went on the website, closed it, and then until I felt normal. Maybe 3 days later, that dumb thoughts start coming back. Like, real hard. Them intrusive thoughts was getting to me. Like, oh, you should try it one more time and different stuff like that. And then the desire started coming back because I started feeding into those thoughts. And of course, sooner or later, I gave in. Felt even more convicted this time because I felt like I didn't learn my lesson. Now, this time it was actually because of curiosity. Like, I got curious because someone had said something and I didn't know it, even though I knew it was inappropriate. So that just goes to show you, bro, like, the devil will use curiosity to this day, just like he did Adam and Eve. But if you haven't got anything from this video yet, get that. The eye is the lamp of your body. That scripture is true. The eye is the lamp to your soul, or something like that. Because as soon as you watch something inappropriate or have something in your eyes that's inappropriate, whether you're looking at a girl or, watching something crazy, you going to get them intrusive thoughts and you going to start getting tempted. That's if you look too long, because the word says in Matthew chapter 5, verse 28, if you look at a woman with lust, you've already committed adultery in your heart. And I did both of those times. So yes, I went back to my cycle again. I gave in and I started giving in for a while again. But this time I feel like I have like much more wisdom. Like as I was giving in to like lust and different stuff like that, I was like, the next time I stop, I must be stopped. I will stop for good this time, because it's like I went through the whole process. It's like I was learning the whole way. And I was really truly trying to understand like how to get rid of lust, watching videos and everything. And so after the second time, I was like much more mature. This is like towards the end of high school, and I was still giving in to lust and different stuff, just living life. But then I seen there was a YouTuber named Young Don who had came to Christ, and I started watching him. Yes, I was still intrigued with like Christian things, even though I was living like a lukewarm lifestyle. But I started watching him because he was pretty interesting. But it seemed like he was very like legalistic, because there's a lot of things he was telling, like teaching, like you need to cut off your hair, it's not masculine. And he switched doctrines multiple times, and he would talk about like once saved, always saved. And I started to kind of believe it, honestly. Like, I was watching pornography and different stuff, so I was like, maybe this is true. Maybe God will forgive me if I just continue to watch pornography. Now, I never like fully gave into that doctrine because I was always convicted and I always truly wanted to change. It was just like I was stuck. But there was one time Young Don actually reacted to a pastor. Now, this pastor actually was giving a word of knowledge to someone. And that got me so intrigued, because like I said earlier in the video, someone came up to me and gave me a word of knowledge. It seemed like God was speaking through them. And so I really started to believe in like words of knowledge in like the spiritual realm, and he was teaching it. So I started actually following him. Now, at first glance, I didn't know he was a pastor. Like, I really didn't know he was reacting to a pastor, but I seen a comment that said, that's my pastor right there. And so that got me actually wanting to watch him. And I started watching him, and he was very, very, very convicted. Like, bro would call you out of sin. Like, you can't be living lukewarm, all this. It'd be like the same message every single week. Not the same message. There'd be different messages, but he would always preach against, living a lukewarm lifestyle. And that convicted me, made me want to change. Although I didn't change right away, like, it got to the point where I was changing more and more and more. And I got finally delivered when he made a video on how to stop watching pornography. And I kid you not, after I watched that video, I'd never watched pornography again. And it wasn't anything that he did. It wasn't the prayer he did. Maybe it was. And I'm not going to say it wasn't anything he did, but it was more of the convicting message saying that, oh, you just have to really want to give it up. Like, you can't just use 50% of your strength and then expect God to just to deliver you. And after that message, I made a decision in my mind, like, I'm not going back. Me saying that, thinking it would be easy. But that same night, I felt like I got the most overwhelming temptation. I know y'all told y'all about the time that I resisted for like 6 days straight. It seemed like I was having to do that over again. And honestly, I never thought I would be able to do that again. But that night, honestly, I did. I went on the website, but I didn't give in. I stopped like in the middle of my tracks, got up, and then, bro, I got so mad that I punched the chair. The chair that I usually use to record, yes, I punched because honestly, I truly didn't want to give in. And after that, I went to sleep. I don't know how I got through that night, but I went to sleep, woke up with the same temptation. And that temptation was there with me the whole entire day. So sunset, I was like, hey, God, I'm going to give in. I can't do it no more. Honestly, I can't do it without your strength. But I had a pulling on my heart to just go to the park. Go to the park, park my car, just get out the house. And so I did that. And I went to the park. On my way to the park, I had a conviction just to turn on worship music. Now, on my way, I remember this conversation with myself. I was like, bro, I never like felt God's presence before. I never cried during worship like these people used to, like I see in the church, because I see it all the time. I'm like, why are these people crying? But this time I went just to worship God and feel his presence. And I kid you not, when I turned on that worship music, I literally started feeling his presence so much. I started shaking, started crying, bro. And once I felt that presence, like after I got through worshiping, I didn't feel tempted to watch pornography. To this day, I haven't felt that urge to go watch pornography. And after that, I started getting more and more sanctified, continuing to watch Richard Lorenzo, to the point I realized that I was getting baptized by the Holy Spirit. And honestly, once I had that encounter, I just knew in my heart that Jesus was the truth. Before then, I would have doubts because I didn't have an encounter. I didn't know the spiritual realm as much. But once I had that encounter that I was looking for the whole time, that I had asked God for before, it was like I knew he was real. So I hope this video encouraged you. I know that there's Fortnite in the background, and I hope you enjoyed this video, because I know that other people's stories can definitely encourage you. So I hope this video encouraged you. I hope it edified you. I know I ain't getting no Fortnite dubs today, but it's cool. Next time I'm going to get a Fortnite dub. I'm going to do a part 2. And once I get a dub, I'm going to move on to the next game. So let me know down in the comments what game I want when you play next. Let me know what story time you want, or just what lesson you want, because I also do lessons. So yeah, appreciate you for watching. I appreciate all the support. Again, if you want to support, the link is down below. If not, until next time, as usual, y'all stay blessed.